Welcome back. Today on the Lost Fjord, we're hiking Shadow Pine Loop. Come along and let's go. Never drink enough water, so I actually brought something that I can just attach to my belt. There. Now we're ready. Here's something you don't see very often on trails. Giant bee traps. It's either for that or for the pine beetles. Today we're hiking Shadow Pine Loop here at the Flying J Ranch, just outside of Conifer. It's right up against the Rockies, so you have a huge diversity of plants and animals. Hopefully some we'll get a chance to look at today. Quite the tree to come down here. Again, we see these widowmakers. Looks like a single tree with a fork in it came down. You can see here, probably due to wind, pulled up the whole root ball as well. This trail is really common for trail runners. We've already passed quite a few getting their early morning jogs in. I'd like to get there one day, but today is not that day. I can definitely understand how this trail got its name. With all the huge pine trees, it provides an amazing amount of shade. So, dark pine makes sense. Also kind of gives it that eerie vibe. On this trail we're going to see a bunch of ponderosa pines, Douglas fir, lodgepole pines, all sorts of pine trees. You can definitely tell that we're getting a mix of everything in this ecosystem because we just went through really dense pine forest and all that, and now we're kind of in this open meadow. It's on the forefront of everybody's mind this year because we had such a dry winter. Wildfires are a real possibility this year. The Douglas firs are actually pretty fire resistant, so if a fire does move through, it tends to clear out the underbrush, and as long as it's not too hot, a lot of the Douglas firs actually survive, which means they can continue to grow. One of the fascinating things about this area is that people have actually been living and traveling through this area for almost 12,000 years, long before this nice trail existed. Boy, if I was building a fire, this would be a great tree. It's got pretty much everything you need to start a fire. It's got the little tiny things for kindling, slightly larger. Once you get to that kind of middle area of your fire, and as we get closer down here to the root or the base, you can see we've got the thick stuff that would burn for hours. though you'd want to avoid any of the moss that you see on it, because even if it looks dry, it usually contains quite a bit of moisture. In the past, tribes like the Ute, Cheyenne, and Arapaho people would traverse this area following game. And then in the summer months, would go up the mountains a little bit more, where it was a little bit cooler and easier to live. And in the summer, they'd work their way back down into these plains. Again, following game, habitat, and any fruits, or not necessarily fruits, berries and other things that you would gather. This area, they've actually found teepee rings and fire rings, proving that people have lived here for a really long time. Teepees always seemed really difficult to me. I've never tried to make one. Every time I've seen their kind of construction, whether it be in person or a YouTube channel, it always looks really difficult. From what I understand, they do great at trapping heat, keeping you warm and dry, all the things you'd want if you had to live out in the wilds. I'm guessing struck by lightning. You can see through here a bunch of trees blown over by wind, all facing the same direction. Some of them still have quite a bit of green on them. I'm not sure how long it usually takes for things to die off and turn brown. There's probably a little seasonal spring that comes through here when we actually have water. This is an easy trail, only about 3 miles. But after reading about the history of the area, it makes me think that though it's easy now, because we've got a defined trail, we know where we're going, and we're just out here for fun, that 12,000 years ago, a lot of this traversal would have been days to make it to these places where people knew that there was food or hunting. These types of environments are host to a bunch of different animals. Birds, squirrels, chipmunks, all that kind of stuff. But you'll see deer and elk come through here regularly as well. As I'm sure you can tell, the county actually does quite a bit of mitigation at this park. It's called fire mitigation, because wildfires don't burn like they used to. The mitigation helps clear some of the stuff that, if we were to have a big fire, would be really impactful. They found a chipmunk they really want to go visit. It's fun going from the little meadows to the woods like this. But you can see they've done a bunch more mitigation through here. I know it's an easy change and something I should have done a long time ago, but having my water on my belt here, you can see it, has definitely been a game changer. I usually find myself hiking and not drinking nearly enough water. With my hand almost always hitting it, it reminds me to stop, take a drink. And the best part about it is it also has a pouch for snacks. Today we've got pistachios. Not nearly as many aspens as this area as we've seen in some other places. I think the pines have probably taken over the majority of the resources. This tree is kind of interesting. You can see all the growth here at the bottom, but as we look up, it looks pretty bare. I'm not sure what causes that. If you know, put it down in the description. I'd be curious to learn. Today is definitely a great day for a hike. The weather is perfect, there's a little bit of a breeze, and tons of birds. A little seasonal stream here. Walking this trail and going from meadow to woods, all I can think about is that silly nursery rhyme we used to hear when we were kids, over the valleys and through the woods. To grandmother's house we go. We're in that weird part of the year where you'll start a hike and you definitely need a coat, but after the sun comes out and everything warms up a bit, definitely got to start removing layers. Everyone needs a bridge in the middle of the woods, right? Alright, time for a quick battery change so you guys don't get left in the dark. Be right back. Welcome back. Now that everyone's put back together, keep moving. I'm usually not a big fan of wind, especially on a hike or camping, but when the forest is this dense, it's not too bad. It kind of breaks it into a nice gentle breeze, and it sounds cool. See that spring has finally sprung. Some cool flowers here. Not quite awake yet, but they're still in the shade. But this one here that's actually in the sun, you can see is actually opened up a little bit and already has a visitor. We've done a lot of work to that tree. It's naked. So this trail is actually located on the Flying J Ranch. I keep questioning if that's part of the Flying J gas company. You have it. A relatively easy hike with tons of history. If you enjoyed this adventure, we'll see you next week. So if you enjoyed the peace and quiet on today's trail, take it as a sign. I share places like this every week and hope you'll come along for the adventure. If you click that like and subscribe button, you'll hear about every new adventure, hopefully every week. And if you're looking for the next quiet hike, check out the playlists here. explore everything, and we'll see you out there.